The Constitution of India, Preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution.
Welcome back, my dear 5th standard children. So I hope all of you are safe and healthy. Being healthy is not just physical fitness, it involves mental fitness also. How can we be physically and mentally fit? Well, man is a social animal. We can't sit inside the house, isn't it? Apart from books, we learn a lot of things from the world we live in. We go out, we meet people. To some, we respond. To some, we talk. To someone else, we listen, isn't it? If it is our friends, we listen to them, we talk with them, we dance a lot, isn't it? All these relationships make us a good, social, responsible person. Actually, these social relationships act like windows for us. They are the windows of knowledge, right? Similarly, if these social relationships need to be good enough, our senses should work together. What are our senses? Sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch. These are our 5 senses, isn't it? These 5 senses work using sense organs. So what are our sense organs? Eyes, ear, nose, tongue, skin. Actually, these sense organs act like windows of knowledge for us. Because of these sense organs, we gain a lot from the world we live in, isn't it? So our today's new chapter is Windows of Knowledge. Actually, we are going to deal with all the sense organs in this chapter. Shall we move into the chapter? Do you find it interesting? Okay. Children, have you seen the ants? How do they look out for their food? Yes, in our house, if we place a sweet without covering on the dining table, within 5 to 10 minutes you can see ants around the sweet. How is it possible? How do the ants know that there is sweet on the table? Yes, they have very good touching sense. Their sense of touch is very excellent. That is why they can easily find out whether a food is sweet, spicy, bitter or salty. They don't go and sit in a spicy food, right? They always are on the lookout for a sweet food. So ants have a good sense of touch. That is why they are easily able to find out their food. How about a dog? Have you seen a sleeping dog? Yes. Usually, even though when the dog is sleeping, if it hears a small sound, you can see the ears of the dog rising, isn't it? So what does it show? It shows that dogs have very good sense of hearing. They have very sharp ears. That is why they are able to detect even a small noise. Okay? Have you seen an eagle catching the chicks? Eagle usually flies at a very high altitude. How is it able to see the small tiny chicks grazing on the land? Yes, eagles have very good eyesight. They have sharp eyes. That is why they are able to see the chicks grazing on the land from such a big height. So, apart from human beings, all the other living things also have sense organs. And in some cases, these sense organs work a little bit extra, like how in dog's case we saw, how in eagle's case we saw, isn't it? So, in some cases, the sense organs are working a little more extra. Let us discuss about the first sense organ, that is eyes. Look at a distant tree. Can you see a tree? What all things can you recognize about this tree? You can identify what type of tree is that. Then you can see how the branches are looking, whether it is thick or thin. You can say about the leaves, the shape of the leaves, isn't it? You can say what type of tree is that. All these you can say easily find out with the help of your good eyesight. So children, we can easily say that most of our knowledge are gained by our eyesight, isn't it? So, what are the different parts of the eyes? Have you ever noticed? Yes, there is a lens inside the eyes. How using a hand lens we are observing things clearly. Do you have a hand lens at home? Yes. What do you do with a hand lens? You can see small things bigger, right? So, you can see all the minute things very in detail using a hand lens. Likewise, there is a lens inside your eyes. This lens focuses on objects and helps us to identify things. Look at the picture. In your textbook, you can see a girl focusing the flame of a candle using a lens, and you can see the image falling on a wall. You get an inverted image there. See, inverted image. Just like this, our eyes, the lens in our eyes also focuses things and gives an inverted image on a screen called retina. So, we have learned two parts in our eyes. One is lens, the other one is retina. What is retina? It's a wall. Just like wall, there is a screen and the image falls on the screen. What happens after that? This retina, that is the screen, is connected to all the nerves of the eyes, and they are called as optic nerves. What are optic nerves? The nerves connecting the eyes. The retina is connected to the optic nerves, and these optic nerves are connected to the brain, and now the brain is able to identify the object clearly, and we are able to gain knowledge, right? So, what are the two different parts of eyes we learned? One is lens, the other one is retina, okay? But children, we have two eyes. Why do we have two eyes? For that, I will suggest some activities for you which you have to try at home, okay? Now itself you can do. Close one eye. You should use only one eye. One eye you should close, and using the other eye, you have to place the cap of a pen. Can you do that clearly? Have you ever tried threading a needle keeping one eye closed? You find it sometimes very difficult, right? Another activity, throw a ball up, close one eye and keeping one eye open. Have you ever tried to catch that ball? All these becomes difficult. Yes, some people can do. Generally, these tasks become difficult using one eye. That is why God has gifted us with two eyes. These two eyes focus on the same object and give us a binocular vision. What is binocular vision? We will see the definition. The ability to see by focusing both eyes on the same point is termed as binocular vision. We get an accurate knowledge of the distance and position of the objects by this. So, God has gifted us with two eyes to observe this wonderful, amazing world, right? We should be thankful for that. What else can eyes do? They can recognize colors. We like colors, right? Then we can easily assess three-dimensional views. Do you all like 3D cinemas? Have you ever watched 3D movie? What happens there? Objects come directly to us, isn't towards us, right? So what happens here? Yes, we go and sit in the movie knowing that these objects are just virtual. We can assess their size, shape, length, breadth, thickness, everything. That is why we are going and sitting and watching those movies, right? So these eyes have special characters. One, they can recognize colors, and two, these three-dimensional views can be easily assessed, isn't it? So a word of gratitude to the Almighty for having two eyes, that too good eyesight. Think of those people who are visually impaired. Usually we call them as blind people. Don't use that word. We can use this word, visually impaired people. Okay? So these visually impaired people, how are they living? What are their plights? How do they live without eyes? What all things can be used by them to go ahead with their life? Have you ever thought of children? Have you ever seen a visually impaired person? Yes, there are some objects which help them to go ahead with their life. One such thing is white cane. It's given in your textbook, we'll see that. White cane is a white stick used by blind for safe movement. Okay? And this is a hollow and light aluminium rod. And usually these visually impaired people, they walk around knocking the stick on the floor. Why? Because the bottom portion of the cane is fixed with a metal. And when they knock this cane on the floor, they can easily realize the obstacles on the roads, on the way they are going in, and they can easily move ahead. And children, when you come across a visually impaired person, what will you do? Will you go and help them? Make it a point that you go and help them, at least cross the road. Okay? What are other things which help these visually impaired people? A French scientist, Louis Braille, he found out a new script for them. What is script? Just like how you study A, B, C, D, letters, words, etc. Like that, these visually impaired people are given a special script. And what are these scripts? They are just projections on the papers. You can touch them and feel these projections and identify the letters. And such script was made by Braille. Using these scripts, now these visually impaired students are writing even IAS exams. Okay? There are people who have reached good heights following this Braille script. Helen Keller, do you remember this author? Yes, Helen Keller was a visually impaired author, and she has written her autobiography. She was able to write this only because of the Braille script. Okay? What are the other things which help these people? One is tactile watch. What is tactile watch? Just like Braille script, this watch can be open. It has a case. It can be opened. You touch and feel the time. Just like how Mohanlal does in Oppam film. Mohanlal is a visually impaired person in that movie, right? He realizes the time by touching his watch. Such watches are called as tactile watches. Or you can have a talking watch. What is a talking watch? You just click the button, there is a voice coming inside saying it's 12:30 now, or it's 1 o'clock now. A watch which has a recorded message. So these are the 4 things which help the visually impaired people. What are they? One is white cane, second one is Braille script, tactile watch, and a talking watch. So these 4 things help the people, these people, to go ahead with their life. Very nice, right? Children, there is a poster given in your textbook. Shall we see that? Eye donation, a great donation. Shouldn't we donate our eyes after death to provide light for the living? The consent should be signed and given when we are alive. Approach eye banks for eye donation. Donate your eye and provide light to those in darkness. Isn't it? It's a bank, eye bank, where they collect the eyes of dead people. Once you are dead, these eyes should not go waste. So you can donate your eyes. When should you donate your eyes? When you are alive, you should sign a form and give, and once you are dead, these eyes will be taken and given to those people who are suffering in darkness. Okay? So eye donation, kannadhanam ettavum veliya dhanamanu adu. Appo if we follow that, many people will come out of their darkness. Now that we have understood that eyes are the important sense organs of our body and which helps us to gain more knowledge, what special precautions should be given to take care of these eyes? We shall see that one by one. Okay? Do not rub or blow if dust falls into the eye, just wash with cold water. Okay? Do not read in dim light. Dim light li irunnu vaayikkan padilla. Bright light also you should not read while traveling in a bus. Keep a certain distance while watching TV. While watching TV, you should not go near the TV. There must be sufficient light in the room. Care should be taken so that the chemicals do not fall into the eye. ഒരിക്കലും കെമിക്കൽസ് കണ്ണിനകത്ത് പോകാൻ പാടില്ല. സോപ്പിൻ്റെയോ ഷാമ്പിൻ്റെയോ, even those chemicals are bad. Protect your eyes from sharp objects while playing. Children, while playing, you should take extra care so that the sharp objects do not come and fall into your eyes. It will affect your eyesight. So these are the precautions you should take to protect your eyes. Okay? Children, now we will discuss the eyesight of some peculiar species which do have special eyesights. The first one is, see, chameleon. Chameleon's eyes are different from those of other creatures. They can move their two eyes on both their sides and they can view from both the sides. Is it possible for us? No. Both our eyes will focus only towards one object. But for chameleon, both the eyes can focus on two different objects simultaneously. Isn't it great? And look at the next species. It's an owl. Owl has two large eyes right in the front of the head. It can turn its head back completely and see the sides behind. Isn't it? We have restriction. We can turn only this much. But the owl can turn completely backside and have a good look into the back portion also. Wonderful, right? God's amazing creation, isn't it? And we will move to the third species. It's a cat. A cat usually has good eyesight during the daytime. Okay, its pupil. What is a pupil? ഈ കറുത്ത കൃഷ്ണമണിനെയാണ് നമ്മൾ pupil എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. Cat's pupils are normal during daytime. But have you seen cat's pupil during night time? It gets dilated. What is dilated? Valithavum Krishnamani. It gets dilated and it is able to see everything during night time. Wonderful, right? Cats can see even during night time without lights. In case we had such cat's eyes, how much electricity we could have saved? Think of that. So children, today we have discussed about eyes. It's a very important sense organ which helps us to gain more and more knowledge about the world we live in. Next class, we'll continue with the remaining sense organs. Bye. Take care.